Okay, today we are looking at how to do perspective drawings using Vectorworks. One of the classic things that designers are asked to do is to provide a sketch, perspective sketch, a perspective rendering to a director. And frequently, some of you have already discovered with Vectorworks, hey, I'm doing things really quickly and the chairs happen to be blue, and the chairs can't be blue for the show. And sometimes instead of figuring out how to change the color of the chairs in Vectorworks, it's easier just to do a hand-drawn render. Bless you. And so what we're going to look at today is how to use Vectorworks to assist us in doing a hand rendering. We're also going to be doing digital renderings, but that's, I think, next week. Okay? But today we're looking at doing a traditional hand-drawn rendering. We used to spend 3 or 4 days in this class, and I would teach you how to draw in perspective and how to calculate everything and do all the math. And there's 2 problems with that. 1, you don't have to do it in the real world anymore. You're going to use Vectorworks to help you anyway. And 2 weeks really wasn't enough time to get good at it. So I ended up getting lots of really bad hand renderings instead of what I should have been getting, which was a really good hand rendering. So at this point, you guys have a rough ground plan in Vectorworks, right? Right. I'm seeing a lot of you staring at me like I'm saying something crazy. That was your assignment for today. So you have a rough ground plan. Here is a rough ground plan. Okay, here's an almost finalized ground plan in Vectorworks from a play called Mauritius that we did a couple years ago. Okay? What we need to do is how do we get this into what we need to do a hand-drawn rendering. Okay? Well, step 1 is get it done. So if you don't have your rough ground plan done, in the words of Larry the Cable Guy, get it done. Yeah, okay. Next step, what we're going to do is we're going to use our flyover tool, and we're going to roughly get the set looking like approximately how we would want the set to look at a good angle and stuff. Okay? And remember, we can do view, rendering, and hidden line, and that'll give us a quick black and white view of the set. And we're going to look at it. It's going to take a minute to render. This set's really complicated. And there we have it. I go, okay, that doesn't look bad. I can see the staircase. I can see the walls. Okay, do you guys, you're able to see this little gray box here? That gray box, does anyone remember what it is? I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. What that gray box is, this gray box right here? Anyone remember? We've talked about it before.
That's the print area.
That's the print area. That is the area that will print. So at the moment, do we see any problems with my set if I print it out? Doesn't quite fit. I'm losing this bit over here, and there's a staircase and a post, and that's kind of interesting. Okay? Don't worry about that yet. But I do want we're going to have to be thinking about that. If your gray box is nowhere near your set at the moment, use your Move Page tool, which is hidden under your Pan tool. So to get to that, click on the hand, and then you'll see Move Page. Click on that. And now you can move the box around a little bit and go, oh, that's up, doesn't quite fit. Up, doesn't quite fit. We'll get it to fit. Get it close at this stage. Okay? Now, one problem with a perspective rendering looking like this. This is not a set in perspective. Okay, this is what's called an orthogonal projection, which means if I were to measure this, this piece is the right length. Everything is the right length. It's just at a funky angle. Okay, what I need to do is I need to switch Vectorworks into the mode of looking at things in perspective. And to do that, we're going to go under View. We're going to go down to Projection, and you'll see at the moment it's set to orthogonal. It defaults to orthogonal. Orthogonal is faster for the computer. We're going to go into Perspective. Okay? This operation will have to re-render. Do I want to? Yes, that's the idea. It's going to take it a minute. The more complicated your set, the more the minute is going to take. Okay? If you are working on a fairly old computer and have a fairly complicated set, take a sandwich or a book not to the computer lab. Just take a book to the computer lab. But if you're at home, have a sandwich or a puppy or something to distract you. Okay? I don't recommend using the internet on the computer you're running Vectorworks renders on because that just slows everything down. Okay, What we have now is we have a picture. We have a rendered picture. And we have these little boxes. Now this little box, we can adjust the size of it. Okay? So I want to adjust the corners of this box. What I always like to do is just adjust them. I'm going to just say render for, or wireframe for the moment. Till it's about the size of my paper. Maybe a little bit smaller. Okay? Mostly because you can't get rid of this Vectorworks educational version when you print it out. That's part of the price of having it for free. Or at a steep discount if you're a teacher. Okay, so we look at this, and I'm going to go ahead and quickly re-render the set so I can see exactly what I can see and I'm not confused by all these extra lines. Does take a little bit longer. And what I can see is that, oh my, the set still doesn't quite fit on the page. I need to zoom out a little bit. But I need to zoom out within the picture frame because if I just go back farther, I still am stuck with my paper size. To do that, we're going to go to another palette. Okay? We're going to go Window, Palettes, and the palette we need for this is our Tool Sets palette. Okay? And within our Tool Sets palette, we need our Rendering palette, our Visualization palette. It looks like a light bulb in Vectorworks 2012, and I think it's also a light bulb in Vectorworks 2015. Okay? Notice our flyover tool is here again. This is exactly the same flyover tool that's in our basic tool set. Okay? Same tool, two places to get to it. Okay, we've got walkthrough, translate view, rotate view. These are the four we're going to be using the most. Okay? I am, for simplicity's sake, you guys have an idea what the set looks like, right? I'm going to go back to wireframe because the computer is going to be much faster in wireframe. Okay? View, rendering, wireframe. Okay. Yes, it's a little hard to figure everything out, but we have a basic idea. So if you're looking at this and saying, yeah, this looks like my set, but I would like a slightly different angle. Well, you can use your flyover tool and spin, rotate, whatever you want. Okay? But my real problem at this moment is I'm too close. I need to zoom out a little bit. To do that, I'm going to use my walkthrough tool. And my yes?
Can you explain a little better what perspective is as opposed
to what perspective is when you draw a picture in perspective, things that are in the distance look like they're smaller than things that are close up. In orthogonal views, they do not. Things do not get smaller in the background. Directors are used to looking at perspective because the way we see the world in real life is as a perspective view. Okay? So what we need to do is we need to adjust this so we need to zoom out a little bit. Okay? What I'm going to do is use the walkthrough tool. And the walkthrough tool actually changes where the viewer in this perspective drawing is standing. Okay? And I'm going to click, and if I pull downwards, my view moves backwards. Notice everything's getting smaller, everything's getting farther away. Okay? Conversely, I can go, if I go up, I go forwards. If I go to the left, to the right, I spin around to the right. If I go to the left, I spin around to the left. Okay? I find this tool is best mostly for doing my forwards and backwards. Okay? Move too far. Okay. Okay, I look at this and I can see, that looks like I can see all of the set, or at least all of the set that I think is important. And part of the thing about doing a perspective drawing is figuring out what part of the set you want to show off to your director. Okay? A couple of other tools that can help us. We can use Translate View. Translate View pretty much keeps us where we are, but allows us to go up and down or straight to the left or straight to the right. Okay? I find this is to be a little more in control when I'm trying to do these fine points of left-right adjustment and up-down adjustment. A little bit farther. Okay. My rotate view is going to literally spin. Okay, and we can do all these weird things with this. Okay. Obviously, for most shows, you probably want a fairly, straight on view. And I always hate playing with this because I can never get back to where I was before. Okay. We decide, yeah, that's pretty much what we like. We're going to go back to our hidden line view, rendering, hidden line. Okay, again, we're in perspective. We're doing a hidden line on a complicated set. It's going to take it a moment. That's okay. Okay? It takes it a moment, and we have the set. There we go, and that's the set, and we go, okay, that's pretty cool. That's what we want it to look like. I'm going to make some recommendations at this point. We want to save this view. We want to be able to get this view back, because you might look at the set and go, oh, this looks great, except I forgot to draw the couch, or I forgot to draw the casket, or I forgot to draw whatever it is you forgot to draw that you would like on here for you to do your drawing. And at the moment you say, I don't know how to draw a casket. Well, you do. We've talked about it. But for the moment, what could you do to draw a casket on here? A sarcophagus. A box. A box at the right height and the right width. And you can kind of adjust it when you're doing your perspective drawing to make it look like a sarcophagus, right? Okay. So we want to save this view, okay? We're going to go up to View, and we're going to go down to Save View. And it's going to ask us a couple questions, okay? First off, name your view, okay? Maybe this is my perspective, okay? What do you want to save? Save orientation, save pan and zoom, save location, page location, unified view, render modes and options, save visibility. If this picture looks exactly the way you want it to look, save everything. You know, if the only thing that's missing is, oh, I need to add a box, or oh, I'm looking at this and I need to move that chair or something, then this is the right view. So save everything, okay? What I frequently do, just so you guys are aware, is I tend not to save class visibility, because if I'm working on a show with multiple sets, I want to be able to turn classes on and off to change which set I'm viewing. And then I want to go to perspective. I want to go to this look, this view, but I want whatever classes I had turned on and off that I had turned on and off. Does that make sense? If I have the classes button checked, it's going to save everything. I'm going to get this exact viewpoint on everything, okay? So for the moment, this is exactly what I want. So I'm going to say, and I might call this actually Perspective Act 1, right? Because you have two perspectives. Okay, so I click OK. It's saved. I can do whatever I want. I can say, ooh, I wonder what happens if I do this. And I go, oh, wait, that was a really, really terrible idea because I'm looking at it from underneath the floor, I think. Yeah, that was not a good idea. I want to go back to that fabulous view I just had. How do I do that? Well, I saved it. So what I need to go is I need to go to Window, Palettes, and Navigation. And we've looked at this tab, right? We see our classes, our layers. Well, we're going to go over here to the second to last one, which is our saved views. And you can see I already have a whole bunch of views saved on here, but because I have one called For Chuck and one for Janine and Front On Better and Wider Set and Chris's view. You know, you can have an infinite. I'm sure there's actually a limit in Vectorworks, but it's probably like 400 or something. So, you know, as many as you need. Perspective Act 1, that's the one I liked. Click on it, double click on it, and it's going to build. It's going to take it a moment. But we can see in our lower right-hand corner that it's rendering. And it's figuring everything out. And eventually, there it is. It's back. Okay. If you're curious what I showed Chuck, I probably showed Chuck For Chuck, because that, okay. And the For Chuck view doesn't have, isn't rendered already. Okay. And it just depends on how I saved it. Okay. You can make those choices. Okay. So here's the view I was showing to Chuck, and it doesn't quite fit on the page. That's a really crap view. I wonder why I did that. I don't know. Oh, and there it is, slightly wider. Wow, okay? Whatever it is you want, okay, save it. Okay, we're going to go back to our perspective. Okay? Now, there are a couple of things that we need to know if we're going to do a perspective drawing. Okay? Your book, have we done this chapter yet? No, we haven't. Never mind. Your book, when we get to the chapter, we'll talk about a couple of things that you should always have on a perspective drawing. Okay? One of them is, one of the big ones is you should have a person. Because the director knows how big things are because there's a person on the set. Okay? You'll notice here, oh look, there happens to be a person on the set. But let's say you don't have a person on your set already. How do we build a person? Well, you could build a box. Oh, they have a little person tool? Yes, they do. We're going to go back to our top view, and I had people scattered all over this. Let's look at the person tool. On that same visualization on our basic tool sets, we have one called human figure. Okay, you could spend hours upon hours playing with the human figure and have lots of fun. And feel free to do that. Okay, as long as your work's done. Okay, I'm going to click on the human figure tool, and I'm going to click on the page. One click, nothing happens. I got to do 2 clicks. I do the second click. There is a person. Okay, we're going to just fly over the person. Oh, yes, look. Oh, that's person. Yeah, that's person. Now, you can say, I don't want a person that looks like that. That person's too short, too tall, too thin, too fat, too male, too female, too in pants, too in a dress, whatever it happens to be. Okay? Can we adjust things on our person? You better believe it. This is Vectorworks. Okay? What we need is our object info palette, window palettes, object info. Okay? We have our person selected. Okay, let's look at this. Body type. Slight or petite, average, large. Okay, so you can decide which character you're going to sketch on there and say, okay, obviously, pick a character from the fly. Mr. Remember that. Nicodemus. Okay, Nicodemus is probably a large man, isn't he? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to say that he's large. Do we think Nicodemus is a tall man? No. How tall do you think he is?
He's probably like 5'6".
5'6". Okay, well here's my height. I can change his height to 5'6". Okay. Notice every one of these changes is making a little change over here. Ha, a little change. Ah. Okay. Is Nicodemus a man, a woman, a boy, or a girl? He's a
question.
Yes. He is a man. Okay. Posture. Standing, arms at side, standing, waving. Oh, maybe he's waving at Jane. Oh, look, there he now he's waving. Okay. Shaking hands. No, don't save. Sitting, kneeling, reclining, laying down. These are all presets, okay? I'm going to say that he's waving. There we go, okay? Hand height. Oh, never mind, okay? Attire, top, t-shirt, polo shirt, long sleeve or short sleeve, dress shirt, leotard, unitard. There's a nun. I didn't realize there was a nun. That's scary. Okay. Nicodemus is probably wearing a long sleeve dress shirt. Okay. Let's put him in a long sleeve dress shirt. Okay. On the bottoms, is he wearing pants, shorts, skirt, short, mid-length, long, or dress? Notice this play does not have any stupid gender stereotypes in it. The men can wear dresses just as well as the women. What do you think Nicodemus is wearing? Pants. Yeah. You'll have to ask your costume designer. You can consult. Footwear. No shoes, dress shoes, casual shoes, or athletic shoes. Nicodemus?
Casual.
Casual. Okay. Hair.
Crazy.
Balding, short, very short, short, medium, or ponytail?
Balding.
Nicodemus, a ponytail? Okay, I'll go with that. Does he wear a jacket? Yeah, probably. Okay. A tie? No? Maybe? Okay. Okay. So we're just going to look at what we could do. This was our basic stuff. Let's look at this, our rendering, hidden line rendering, and let's just see what our Nicodemus looks like at the moment. Okay. He's a big guy.
Where's his face?
His face is right here.
I know
Yeah.
that, but
Well, we're looking down a little bit. Here, we'll look at him from straight on.
So if you don't have the, there's no way to do those front top views.
Yes, there are, but I don't know the commands. Okay, there's Nicodemus. Okay,
we're in a hat.
wearing a hat. Yeah, I don't remember selecting a hat for him, but okay. Oh, he's not wearing a hat. That's someone standing behind him.
Okay. Creepy.
Oops. I must have had someone on here already. Okay. Give it a second to render Nicodemus. Okay. Now, if that's not enough control for you, if you need more control over your characters, that's fine. We can set attributes. Okay, and our attributes will tell us, you can change his skin color, so he could be African American or a green alien. Okay. You can change the color of his top, his jacket, all of these things. You can change all this stuff about them. Play with these things, but do not play with them to the exclusion of getting your actual work done. Does that make sense? Okay. But whatever it is you want to do, okay. Oh, he's not wearing stockings. His jacket. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to have a brown jacket, but I wanted to have this brown jacket. Okay. Click OK. That's fine. That changes his clothes. That adjusts his clothes a little bit. But maybe you need more than that. Okay. And by the way, color's not showing up now, but color will later on when we do color rendering, which I think is next week. Okay. Okay, yeah, the wave is nice, but it's not quite the wave I want. Okay. If you click on custom position, you can move body parts. I would like to tell you this is easy. I don't find it easy. What I think would be really great is if it would use the camera and I could stand in front of it and say, look at my body position, now copy that. But it doesn't do that, and I'm probably really happy it doesn't. But let's say we need him to have his knee bent a little bit. Maybe we want his leg up on a stool or something. Render. Bless you. Okay, oh, I've got the knee up. And he should flex his foot. And his foot should rotate.
So with the foot flex, is one way like blinking, the other way is flexing?
Yeah, probably. You got to play with it. And I want to remind you that Vectorworks is a computer program, and therefore will do exactly what you tell it, even if that would put someone's body in just like, they'd have to be like a Cirque du Soleil performer to get into that position. Okay, let's twist his leg a little bit. And if you're going to ask me, do I know what all of these things do? No. And when I have to do someone in a position, I just kind of play with them until I get what I want. Okay, there we go. Nicodemus doing ballet. Let's check out the rendering, shall we? And by the way, people really slow up your rendering, so at the moment I seem to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 people in my file. That's why this is taking so long. Okay, there he is. Ooh, did I actually get his leg on the chair? Oh, that'd be awesome. If I want to check, I can go back to my top view, which Apple 5 will give, or Command 5 will give you. No, but here I can get his leg on the chair because I can just move him. Come on, buddy. There we go. He's oh, he's going through the back of the chair. Fine, I'm going to rotate him then. Rotate commands work on people just like they work on objects. Because people, as far as Vectorworks is concerned, are very, very complicated objects. Okay? Okay, I've got my person on here. I've got this set up the way I want. I think I'm being laughed at. Get rid of these other people. Laughed with, okay. Force select. We'll get rid of him. Get rid of him. And now, we'll just go back to our Perspective Act 1. Now with our Nicodemus pirouetting, instead of pirouette.
On the chair. With a chair.
With a chair. Up, and look at that! Look at that! Can we imagine anything more beautiful? It's right here, with his leg on the chair. I think he's trying to seduce Jane or something.
It's a good angle to do so.
Huh?
It's a good angle to do so.
Yeah.
Great. Trying to get a lap dance.
Okay. Wow, and there are no girls here today. Thank goodness. Okay. So we now have our rendering. If we want to print this, what do we have to do? Just go to print. We're already inside the gray box, so if we go File, Print, it'll print. Now, if you're doing this at home and you don't happen to have a printer at home, you can export it as an image file or as a PDF, whichever is easier. Okay. Image files tend to be a little bit smaller, but they're a little. You got to know a little bit more what you're doing at the other end to print them out. Okay. However, if you're so you're going to want to eventually print this out. If you export as a PDF, export the whole printable area as one page, and go print or export, and you have to name it. Sure. And by the way, when you export, it re-renders, so, you know, read a page of your book or something. Or if you're on a really old computer, read, a novel. And let's go find it. It was in Documents, Lectures, TA27A. Oh, it was in TA27A. Huh. I don't know where it went. Huh. Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter. But you can print that out. You can export it as an image file, which will export a JPEG. Let me just show you that. There is one little warning. This warning is not a problem in Vectorworks 2015. Someone realized it was a bad idea and got rid of it. Export image file. A couple things. Okay, first off, draw a marquee about what you want. So you basically draw a box around what you want to export. Okay. File type. JPEG 2000 is not a JPEG. It is some bizarre file format that nobody uses. That was somehow erroneously put in here. Use JPEG. Okay. If you're a Mac user and you're particularly fond of PICT files, use a PICT file. It's fine. Just don't use JPEG 2000. Regular JPEG is fine. What size you want to print out at? Sure, works for me. Save. Oh, it's saving in TA27B. That's why. Oh, it's saving in Lectures. We're just going to save it to the desktop. Okay, and now on my desktop is somewhere FCC Mauritius 4, and there it is, complete with our pirouetting Nostradamus. Yeah, wrong show, on the wrong set. Okay, easy to do, simple. Okay. let me talk about why we're doing this. Okay, this is our next homework assignment. I'm pretty darn sure. Why do we need this? We need to have this not just in the file, but printed out. Because what we're going to do is we're then going to use our color media, whether we use watercolors or gouache or colored pencil or markers, and we're going to color this in. We're going to create a color rendering from this black and white picture. And what you don't have to worry about is how do I get this drawn so it looks right, so I get a person that's in the right size and everything. You've got it. You've got it pre-done. You have your black and white drawing done. All you have to do is print it out and bring it along with you to class. Okay? Any questions? No? Excellent.
The girls.
Huh?
I said the girls.
Well, they're not here. Let me stop the recording. This will get uploaded today.